Hmm. Hello, welcome to the Trade Game channel. This is Daniel. It's January 24th, and we're going to talk about trading cryptocurrency. Specifically, we're going to be talking about a bot we're about to start on Tron. So, we're talking about Tron. We're going to be doing some technical analysis. Um, if you're new here, we are trading cryptocurrencies, and we're doing it using grid bots. So what we are currently trying to do is set up on this coin a bot that's going long, and so we're looking for a long position. We're looking to open a long position, um, but we're kind of looking to open a long position um, that we plan on holding for quite a while. Uh, so we're discussing where we should set a trigger price to start this bot. To essentially open a long position on Tron. Where would you start a long position on Tron? I've marked out a couple of real basic lines of resistance, I think, for Tron after this big pump, this big rally in December of last year. And came back down and started doing some price exploration. And then I've also in blue marked some areas of historic significant support and resistance down below. This is on the daily chart. So currently, Tron has corrected downwards after its big sudden rally, which is a very interesting sign for the future of the currency. But for right now, it's going to correct down, and we're going to try to catch the bottom, reasonably close to the bottom anyway, or at least try to catch it after it has started to swing back up. So we're kind of coming down like this, and we're trading in a channel. Um, this being the upper bound of the channel, and this being the lower band of the channel. So you can kind of see we've hit here, um, and found support and resistance and all this good stuff around this line that I've marked out. But we are moving downwards, and we do seem to be respecting that line of resistance anyway. So that is what's happening here. We're sort of testing the upper, or we may soon test the upper boundary um, of this channel, but we're going to kind of need to see it break higher, like break this, like for example, breaking this high here at 26 cents, around about 26, 27. Yeah, actually, I'd say 27. So if Tron breaks 27 cents, that would be pretty good sign that it might move back up towards another peak. But until it does that, So it looks like on the smaller time scale, we've marked a wedge that we felt like was forming here, um, and it does look like we've broken out of it, up out of it. If we look at this on the hourly time frame, however you're trading these things. Um, so it looks like we've broken the top of, we've broken out of this wedge on the upside. Hooray! We've got higher highs here. And so we broke the wedge. See, we respected the top edge of it right there. And then came up and broke it. Did a little head and shoulders pattern. Came down and then found support right here on the line, the wedge. And now we're kicking back up. So this is an interesting moment. This could be a turnaround point for Tron, actually. So that's very bullish. I do sort of, though, like, depending on what time frame you want to look at these things on. Sometimes when you do see basically a pattern like this, and you initially break out of the wedge, it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily going to have a push, another push down before going up, and so. As much as that is looking very bullish for Tron, we may wait for a retest. Yeah. So, what I am suggesting. So I have a couple of proposals in terms of setting up our bot here. So we're talking about starting our grid strategy. If you were just looking for my thoughts on what direction the price is going to go for Tron, that's you've got them now. When it comes to setting up this bot that we're going to do here with our group, um, I'm going to suggest that what I'm going to do when I change mine, I'm going to set the top of the grid down to 45 cents, where Tron that's its all-time high is 45 cents. Um, because I'm really starting to think, looking at how the other bots are performing, that having these grids set a little bit more, not quite so high up to the moon or whatever you want to call it, it might actually work out a little bit better because uh, the grids can't quite get as dense as I would like them to. It sort of forces them to stretch out um, by setting the grids up that super high, um, and also like I think that I'm just not necessarily looking to hold some of these bots for um, as long as it would actually take them to explore the entire grid. Um, so, at least for the sake for Tron, what I would say is that we could perhaps um, just say, okay, we're going to grid trade this until it reaches its all-time high, and once it breaks its all-time high price, it'll just turn into a long position, um, or it'll fall back down, and we'll start grid trading it again, or both of those things may happen. Um, but that likely will take a little while for that to happen if it ever happens. So we at least can use that for the upper end, the optimistic end of our trading grid. Um, and then for also thinking of making the grid a little bit more conservative in size. I was also thinking that we could move the bottom of the grid up to this higher line of support where we were at last November. I think that, yeah, going into November with the election, this this whole pump in Tron, I think, came after the election. I have a hard time believing we're actually going to get back down to this price level on this asset, um, or at least anytime soon. So I think that moving the grid closer, a little bit higher, up towards this level of support, we have around 18.5 cents. I think makes sense. So I had moved the grid up to right around here, um, just a little bit lower than that, so that if we do come down and challenge this level of support, the bot will still be able to kind of trade a little bit below. Um, is my thinking. So I'm proposing that we lower the grid, raise the bottom of the grid to 0.17396, or as close as you can get with your exchange. And then for the trigger price, I think that at least for right now, uh, we need to move this trigger price to be somewhere above the current price action, um, because we kind of need this to break upwards in a more significant way rather than trending downwards. So what I would suggest is that we place our trigger somewhere, say around this high that we had more recently, around 26. I think I was going to say just 27. Yeah, 27 cents. Um, so this way, um, if this way, if the price of Tron, like with this is contingency planning, right? We we've had a pump recently in this coin. Big old, big old God candle, maybe. I don't know if that's really qualifies or not, but extremely bullish sign on the macro scale for Tron. Um, and so now, and then we're correcting down, and so we're correcting downwards and trying to find some support, right? And we're kind of hitting these areas where we were at right immediately following the election. So we're trying to catch the bottom more or less, or get kind of close to it. But really, at the end of the day, we're trying to catch it as it's trending upwards. So it's not necessarily that important that we catch the absolute bottom. The absolute bottom. It's really more important that we catch it as it's starting to swing back up. So I'm saying we should set the trigger price higher than the current price action, uh, and the way and in this way, if we were to say, for example, if the price action was going to go like and then go down, well then the bot hasn't started, so it's really not a problem. If the price action were to go, still not a problem. Bot hasn't started, no issues. Because we're going long, so this would be goes sideways, no issues. Um, Whereas, of course, obviously, if price action goes like that, awesome, we're in profits, everything's good. If it goes like this, of course, good, fine. Um, the only situation in which it would be an issue for us would be if the price um, were to go up, hit the trigger price, and then go down. But just in terms of like the number of possible things that could happen with Tron, um, that could create an issue. Um, there are some scenarios that could happen, but they're kind of not that many of them compared to what could happen. Uh, so compared to like what could happen if we set a trigger down here trying to catch a low, um, I don't think that. I mean, really, I don't think that if we set it at 22.5, um, it would be a problem at all, actually. But at 22.5 or say this 18.5 cents line where the bottom end of our channel meets this support, that also would be a perfectly fine trigger price. But it's also entirely possible that it'll never get down to challenge to this level of support again. Um, Whereas, assuming uh, that we're going long, let's say we want the price to go up, uh, if the price of this thing never really pumps again, never really is successful again, and the coin just sort of dies off, um, our bot will never get activated and won't matter. So it won't be an issue. Because that does happen with cryptocurrencies sometimes. Sometimes they crash and stay crashed for a while. Not very likely with this one. It's a fairly common infrastructure coin, and we're in the middle of a bull market, so yeah. But uh, so we're sort of chasing the bottom, but I'm going to try to catch the top. We're going to try to catch it as it's swinging up. Hopefully, it's pretty close to its bottom right now. We're getting right in that area. May have another swing down in it before going back up. But even if it does have another swing down in it, um, so what I'm suggesting is that if we are breaking out of this wedge, and if we are gonna retest and then come out here out of this channel that we marked on the bigger um, time frame, we would have to break both of those. We would have to satisfy this wedge by having a pump, break out of the channel, and get up in order to get up to here to break this high, and actually get a bit above that even to have the bot started. It's unlikely that that would happen. It's unlikely that all of that is going to happen in terms of its short-term price action and then have it crash back down right afterwards. It's much more likely if it does sort of satisfy all of those requirements, and gets up above this latest high, although you could kind of argue that one. But um, it's pretty likely that that it's actually going to be starting to trend upwards. Um, and of course, this is pretty close to this area of resistance that we saw back here. So yeah, so that's my suggestion for this spot. I think that we need to do this, and we're still doing 10 times leverage, and we're going to have the top at 45 cents. So the grid's going to be going from 17.39 cents. To 45 cents. Yeah, with our activation price at 27 cents. Okay, so this is Trade Game Channel. This is Daniel. Thank you for watching. God be with you. Please be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later.